Alright gang, welcome back to our mountain survival here on AgroForests. It is still September. I have clearly purchased a wheel loader here. I spent pretty much all the money that we've made to this point on this wheel loader because it's something I think we need and I want to do today. Now I did drive the tractor down here because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I wasn't even sure if that I was going to be able to afford this or not. But I do think this is the best approach for us as we move forward here. This is going to allow us to be able to pick up all those rocks and dump them hopefully into our trailer. Hopefully our trailer is short enough that we can actually accomplish this. If it's not, then I guess I just wasted a bunch of money. But nonetheless, we'll head on back here. We'll have to come back and get the tractor at some point, but we'll head on back up here. And a couple things to talk about today. More specifically, not around realistically this series, although this series might have a little bit of a bump in the number of episodes you see. This series is normally something that, for the most part, we've been kind of, whenever the time permits, or whenever I had the inkling to do something, we would do it. It's normally about once a week and a half, maybe once every 2 weeks, something like that, that we would release an episode on this series. Not anything we were trying to, make a standardized schedule of or anything like that. But given the instances of the issues that I've been dealing with, this one might get bumped up because this one, like the Kindling series and like the Farmland series, it's not really seeming to have a whole lot of issues, knock on wood, whenever I save or anything like that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we had to abruptly cancel the Maypole Farm series. If you've watched that series, you already knew that it was coming soon because of the updates that were made to the map. Now, ever since there was an update to the game, and I feel like it's an Xbox issue, but I'm not positive on this statement, but I couldn't even load up Maypole Farms anymore. It wouldn't even allow me to load it up to try to finish the series quickly if I wanted to. Couldn't even get it to load. It would just crash the dashboard at about 50% load every single time, no matter what. So, if you haven't, watch yesterday's episode on the Maypole Farms. That's the last one. And I start working on, what will be the replacement of it. Basically just starting on a new map. Starting out that new map, everything seems to be going well. And then I save, or I auto-save, and the game crashes to the dashboard again. I don't know what is going on. I'm going to attempt this on a different map once again. If I still get the same issue, I have no idea what's going on. There's clearly something wrong with an update that they did, and I'm probably just going to have to wait it out. Which means that this series will get a bit of a bump, is what I'm trying to get at, right? Because I have the Kindling series that I can run, and then we've got the competitive one-tile challenge, but that's really only going to be happening twice a week, because I have to get together with the guys, right? And we all have different schedules, right? So it's not something I can just bump up whenever I want to, if you will. So it'll be Kindling in this for a while if that same issue continues on when I try to do another map, I guess is how I'll put it. We'll see, but things are not looking too great right now. I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to try to pick up most of these stones here. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, what we're trying to do here. But what I would love to do today, we've talked about this recently, but what I would love to do today is to try my best here to get all the stones up off the ground here and see if we can smooth this section out and turn it into an arable field. Now, if it doesn't work, we can always go the grape or olive approach. We've talked about that, and that's more than likely what we're going to have to do. I just have some inkling of a reason, which I didn't realize when I started this, that these would not be able to be removed. But these little rotting logs that are here, they're there for good. I cannot remove them. I can't paint over them. I can't do anything like that. All the ideas that you guys had were great, but none of them work. So we'll have to see, I guess. But for now, we just want to get these rocks up so we can attempt to even try to do this strategy that I want to do. And you know what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. This is more of this series itself specifically, I'm terrible with these articulate things, so just bear with me for a minute. This series is, was more specifically kind of like a trial and error. Some things that, I had on paper that I wanted to try out and see if it would actually work or not. This is one of those ideas that I had where I would take an area that was typically unarable, and try to make it arable by, doing land manipulation and things like that. Now, more than likely, if I had picked any other map besides this one that didn't have these rotting logs, I would assume with a little bit of land manipulation, you could probably accomplish what I'm trying to do here. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. We're just trying to work with what we got here at this point and go from there. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good, man. Besides the issues I'm dealing with, things are good, right? There's still some rocks there. Those ones on the very, very bottom are going to be difficult to get, I think. So let's see if I can even get this up in here. I would assume there's going to be plenty of room. Yeah, there should be plenty of room here for me to flip this into the trailer here. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be able to. Perfect. Perfect. So, what I would like to do, honestly, obviously I'm going to have to get all these rocks up. We kind of want to get all the rocks up anyway because we want to go and sell them, make a little bit of extra money. But what I would like to do is just at least, you know, run a bit of a test. And if I can get rid of the rest of these rocks, I think that'll help me with my test because I can just work on it right here in this area near our shed, which, you know, may or may not be moved at some point. Once we get to some really high, steep areas, or maybe that mountain hill, whatever you want to call it, over there, you know, it's got that big, massive rock in the middle that we know we can't get rid of. Maybe we move it over towards that, right? Who knows? But, yeah, I'm having a hard time getting these up here. Now, somebody might be saying, you know, why don't you use like a stone picker or anything like that? I don't think that would work on here. I think that stone picker only works, at least my understanding, at least, and maybe somebody can correct me if I'm incorrect, but I don't think it works when you've got piles of them from an actual rock that you destroyed. I think that only works on like an actual field where stones are populated from the field itself, from being plowed or whatever. But if I'm wrong, let me know down below. I very well could be. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that other set of rocks up there. So let's just dump these in here, and let's just see if we can run a test here. Alright, we'll just put this down on the ground, get it kind of over here to the side, out of the way. There shouldn't be anybody coming by, but just in case, turn the beacons off. And alright, so let's see. We don't have a ton of money either. We only have 15,000 because I bought this. We probably should sell some more trees so I can actually try to accomplish this. But just to kind of give you another ballpark, I mean, this I already painted here. See, clearly you can't get rid of it by painting it. So that's not going to work. I tried the chainsaw to it. I've tried lots of things to it. None of those work. One thing I didn't try was putting grass on it. Nope, that doesn't work either. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to allow us to do anything, unfortunately. So let's just see what happens here. I'm going to change the cursor to a square. We're going to bump this up pretty heavily here, and I'm going to basically just try to take this and pull it this way, and we'll see what happens here. Yeah, once you get to that tree, it doesn't allow you to do anything. And we're out of money already. But it does appear that, just looking at it from this perspective, it does appear that we're going to be able to do something. It just might be very awkwardly shaped fields, and when the time comes for us to actually drive past things, you know, that's a pretty steep drop-off. Like, this is going to be probably, there's going to be little holes in it that are going to be like that, which is not going to be the most ideal situation for us, I don't think. But maybe we'll figure out a way around it. I don't know. Either way, we have no money now. No money at all. Right, we're going to try this one more time, just because it's going to drive me crazy if I can't figure out how to get this up off the ground here. Nope, it's not going to work. It's like not actually hitting the ground fully. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not, but like there's like a bit of a hill or something there that's popping the actual bucket up in the air, and that's the reason why we're not able to get that. Oh well, what are you going to do? It's going to cost us a ton of money to be able to do what I'm trying to do here, as you saw. I didn't really pull that much of the ground out, right? And as a matter of fact, you probably want to go a little bit higher than what we did, but it's going to be a struggle, this. I'm telling you. It's going to be difficult to get this to actually do anything that I'm wanting it to do here. I think the biggest problem I'm running into, kind of going back to the different series and the issues that we're dealing with right now, is that the Kindleg series is moving along very nicely. I suspect that series is going to be done sooner than later here. We're able to get a lot of things, right? Well, I mean, we probably have another 12 episodes, but I mean that's not that many. If that's one of the main things, one of the only things, I guess, that I'm doing an episode on for the week, when the other things I had planned on doing aren't working. Like I said, I have this one, but I still, this one is not intended to be, every other day kind of thing. It just never was. And this one was intended to be a very short series anyway. Like I said, it was going to be like 10, maybe 15 at most. And the reason why I'm saying that is because exactly what you're seeing right now. The only goal here is for us to be able to do what I started to do right there. Try to make this whole area into an arable piece of land that we can actually drill a crop in. There's no other point for this series other than that. It's just more of a, let's run a test type of series and see if one of my crazy ideas actually would work or not. Evidently rain is in the forecast. I just saw that pop up there on the little map. Well, I guess it's not really a map. The icon up there. The menu-like icon up there in the top right corner. Now, I don't think this section here had a whole lot of... I mean, it did, but not compared to the other ones. I don't think it had a ton of rocks. So I think we have this little section here, and there might be one other one over on the other side of this hill. But I think that was it for the rocks. So that's why this is a good one for us to start out on. One, it's not as high as the other ones. Two, doesn't take us, hopefully, as long... All right, we are full. Take us hopefully as long to be able to get rid of all the rocks, if you will, right? Anyway, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. Hopefully you're having a better time in Farming Simulator than I am right now on the issues that I'm dealing with. Oh boy. Oh boy. This thing is heavy. I might have made this too heavy. I mean, this bucket I got is a little unrealistic. Full transparency there, I will say that. It's a very heavy bucket, so I probably needed one of the bigger JCBs or telehandlers. One of the big wheel loaders. But I was trying to force my hand in utilizing it this way. Now, if you haven't, for whatever reason, I don't know this yet, for some reason, we did bump up the competitive one-tile challenge. It's now happening twice a week. It was only once a week. Guys and I have been able to get together. It's not going to happen every single week, I can tell you that. Sometimes one of us is going to be gone for work, vacation, whatever it may be. But we were able to bump it up, so we'll have a release of that series every Thursday and Sunday, or Sundays. Thursday and Saturday, excuse me. Which is exciting, because that's definitely going to help that series continue to expand. A lot of good things going on in that series right now. A lot of good things going on. We've got a absolute boatload of flour. When it comes time to sell that flour, we're going to make a buku amount of money. Now, eventually, my goal is not just to make the flour and sell it outright. I've got other ideas for the flour, but we obviously need other things to happen, to be accomplished before we really can start utilizing it. So right now, I would prefer, I think, just to sell the flour for this time and move from there. Alright, yeah, so there's some rocks over here. I thought there was. Is that it? Or is there one more? For some reason, I felt like there was one over here somewhere. No, I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay. Alright, looks like we've got all the rocks up here, at least the ones I'm going to be able to get up for the time being. So we will go and dump this. Then we'll need to head back up and get the John Deere there, and we're going to go sell the rocks first of all. I don't know where we're going to sell them at, but we're going to go sell the rocks at that point. And then we're going to need to take down some trees again, I think. Just continue our quest here of knocking down some more trees and going and selling them. Just get a little bit more money in the bank account. Again, you know, we attempted to do this. It appears it's going to work. It may not be the most elegant thing to look at. Obviously, that's a pretty steep cliffside we're putting there. It doesn't really look that realistic. Maybe we can smooth the edges a little bit to make it look a little bit better. I don't know. We will figure that out as we get to it. But, in essence, it does appear that my idea here can and will work. Albeit a little bit awkwardly and a little bit unrealistic. Alright, let's get into John Deere. I will meet you back here. You've seen me do this, so I will just do a bit of a jump cut here, and I will meet you back. Well, I was going to say at the yard, but we don't really have a yard. But I'll meet you back at our farmland. Alright, let's see where we're going to sell these things at. Hopefully the autosave doesn't crash us like the other ones have been doing. It seems to be okay. Alright, so let's figure out where we're selling the stones at. We're going to have to scroll for an eternity here, so just bear with me for a minute. Stop. Almost. 93 at Porto, which I think is just the basic port. I mean, basically that's what that means. It is. Alright, so we'll head down there and sell them. We're not going to make a ton of money off this. I think it was like $100 per 1,000 liters, something like that. So we'll get us back at least some money in the bank account, but it's not going to be anything to write home about. Let's put it that way. And then we'll have to hook up the tree devour modding and then kind of continue our process here. I'm going to continue working on that field back there behind us. We still got quite a few trees there that we need to take down, so it's going to take a bit. But actually, as a matter of fact, before we move on here, where should we be selling the wood chips at? Still can't figure out what's going on with this one right here, right? We've talked about it, but it almost appears like it says it can go there, but I don't know. It almost appears like it doesn't. So that's the old sawmill. That's right next to us. Yeah, but I can't figure out where to sell them at. We've driven around there many times with all the icons, everything, and it doesn't, you know, whatever. Well, I'll probably just sell them at the same location we've been selling them at, which is like here, right? The sawmill versus the old sawmill. We'll figure it out. Let's go sell the rocks. We'll hook up. We'll get some trees down, and then we'll go from there. All right, we got quite a bit of money of that we spent back. We're at 54,000. We're going to get a lot more out of this one, so probably another 24 around that, $24,000 around that, something along those lines. Still got a long way to go, though, man. We've got that whole entire hill. There's still quite a few trees there. There's big trees. They're kind of a pain in the ass to get chopped down, and then we're going to have to take a chainsaw to part of those stumps so we can get them a little bit lower so we can actually remove it with the tree devourer mod because it's just too high. But yeah, we're getting a lot of the money back, which is a good thing. We're in a more comfortable spot, at least. Not that we specifically are going to be buying a ton of things, but this is going to allow us the opportunity to continue to try to expand the land a little bit, if you will. And what I mean by that is trying to flatten the land out to be arable, as we kind of showed earlier on in this episode. So we're going to do a little bit more of that here right now. 81,185 is what we have. We're going to try to do a little bit more of that in this area that, well, the piece of land that should be the easiest, honestly, to accomplish what we're doing here. But like I said, don't expect perfection. This is not going to be perfection. I can tell you that right now. It's just simply not. I think I'm going to take it from here. Yeah, see, this is what I'm afraid of, right? We're looking at this right now. There are multiple areas where it's putting in these massive, like, hole-like things, as I would like to call them. Okay, so we just spent all of that money. Every single bit of it is all gone. And this is not, it's not what we were looking for, right? You've got a decent piece of land up here, but then you've got little spots like this, which actually, that is because there's a tree in there that we didn't even notice, I think. Yeah, there's a branch in here. So that's the reason for that one. So that's not as bad, I guess. I can't even get out of that. So that's not as bad, but still, I mean, even if we have enough money, at least I should say, to fill that in. I mean, is that really going to accomplish what we're looking for here? I would argue no, right? I would argue no. This is another tree that's down on the ground. If we get that one up, we can probably expand that out a little bit further, but... And there's a stump there. There's going to be like things like that are missed. It's just going to happen. We know that. It's going to happen. So we definitely could expand this one out a little bit further here, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it might be a fail as an idea. Now, we could do the grapes around the side of the hill. We talked about that, right? And maybe that's what we do with the rest of this, but this would be like our trial area and the easiest one of all the ones to try to do what I'm trying to do here. And to me, just looking at it, it doesn't appear it's really going to give us what I was looking for. Maybe if this portion here would be able to be connected and we can look at it, maybe it'll let us do it. There's a stump there. I think that's the reason why I see it now. But we don't have enough money to continue on anyway, right? We've got to get some more trees down to even try to continue to do this. So there's another one there. So there's a couple things. There's a couple reasons why, evidently. Maybe it will be better. Maybe I should be a little more optimistic than I'm being right now. Maybe it will be better. I'm just going to put these up here on top because it's just a little bit easier to see them and find them. But yeah, maybe it's just I'm missing a few stumps and things like that, and if we fix all that, maybe it'll be better. I don't know. Let's be positive about it. But we are going to leave the episode at that point. A little bit of a shorter episode. I understand that. I apologize for that. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back here soon enough in this one, and hopefully, no offense to this series because I do like this series, but hopefully it's not a quick turnaround. Hopefully it's another week and a half, or whatever it is before we do another one on this. Hopefully I figured out what's going on with the other maps, and we can get the vanilla survival with a twist back up and running on a separate map. That's really the main goal there. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank them enough. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button in the case you've yet to do so, and we'll see you next time.